Just know that I have to There are so many things that I have left unsaid. I'd rather be with you instead. Just be with you instead. Just be with you instead. I just all I see is you. All I see is you. All I see is you. All I see is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's week number 7, final game of the weekend. And that game is going to be a match between Carolina Cosmics and Shanghai Staggered. My name is Julik, and with me tonight I have the one and only Spiff Tasakimi to my top left, I believe, and Childish Rambino right below me. Guys, please say hi to the chat and the viewers that are tuning in tonight.
Happy Sunday.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having all three of us here once again for what is shaping up to be the last game of the season until playoffs.
That is correct. This is going to be the last game of the season until playoffs. Playoffs will take place sometime, I believe, in the first month of next year, January. And tonight is going to be the last game of this weekend number 7 for the OWCC. And we have, in my opinion, probably one of the most interesting matches that we can actually wrap up the season with. We have a very, very strong side of Shanghai Staggered and a very, very strong candidate to face him with the Carolina Cosmic. But we're going to go a little bit more into detail on those teams. We're going to start off with you, Spiff. I want you to tell me your thoughts on the current stands for Shanghai Staggered.
For Shanghai, again, these guys are very solid teamwork, good communication. What I really like about them is their ability to kind of dominate almost all control points. So even if this does go to game 5, I feel like they're going to have the advantage. But I get to follow a lot of these people personally. I played with a lot of them too, not on Shanghai, but I'm looking to see what Ryutix can do. And if you guys know who Ryutix is, he's essentially his own thing. We expect great things from Mutix. He always delivers. And then we pick who is like under him. So I'm curious on the side of Carolina what their equivalent to Mutix is.
That's going to be a question for you, Rambino. I want to know your thoughts on Carolina Cosmic. I believe you and I have casted a match for them before. What I can remember is that they are extremely aggressive when it comes to their tank play. So let us know what we can expect coming into game number 1 here between Carolina Cosmic and Shanghai.
Well, the important thing to understand here is Carolina Cosmic, as a team, you know where they're a good team when it's difficult to find the best member of the team. All of them, throughout the time that we've seen them play, have been very solid in their mechanics. And while, yes, Shanghai has control points down to a science, it will be more than control points, hopefully, on these maps, obviously, and they will need to adapt as a result, or they will suffer the wrath of Carolina Cosmic.
I'm going to go back to you here, Spiff. Since you know Shanghai... I just actually noticed that the score is 4-0. I'm not predicting the match.
Well, Shanghai, already okay.
No, Shanghai does not have 4. We just started the game. The score is 0-0, as you can
assume.
It
is 0-0.
But going back to you, Spiff, since you know them so well, what are you expecting from them on game number 1 here, Hanamura?
Hanamura, they've gone back and forth on several of their plays because Ranger and Chicken, the main tanks, the tanks of the team. I love when I get to see them on, especially Chicken Nugget on a Winston. So I wouldn't be opposed to a dive on attempting to maybe push straight through the point. Because again, Hanamura, the first little choke point is a really big issue. I have not got to see a lot of Carolina, so I'm curious on what their defense is going to be. But I maybe would expect to see a May or like a bunker down Orisa Hog, because I feel like Shanghai, even if they run into that hole, to that wall, they will adjust and be able to break through eventually, because they don't like to beat their head against the wall unless the wall's giving at least a little bit.
Rambino, I want to know your thoughts. Do you expect any of these two teams to pull out a May on the first choke of Hanamura?
I don't think we'll see a May. We're going to see goats. I can bet my life on it and my elo, all 2 of it. But that being said, if they do pick a May, I don't think it's going to be a good choice here, just because Shanghai doesn't really focus on these kinds of team comps. It's a goats heavy play style they favor, and obviously the tanks in Carolina have a distinct aggression that is just, it's a blitzkrieg almost, if I would simplify it.
Excellent. So we have yet to start the game. It should be starting shortly. The first map is going to be, as you may already know, it's going to be Hanamura. I believe you had a different map yesterday, right, Spiff? They started off with Anubis.
Anubis! I was so excited Rambino was here with me, and I was like, didn't pick Hanamura. And, okay, you understand, they usually they pick a 2-cap map, and the map pool is relatively stagnant, and most people will pick... I see...
Oh,
you guys probably can't see the game.
Oh, yeah.
But they're going back and forth between Hanamura and Anubis. I like Anubis just a little bit more. Maybe because I've been on Hanamura so much, but I feel that there are more options with Anubis for attack and defense, as opposed to the attack defense of Hanamura first point. You're really kind of stuck with the same thing. So that's why I was happy to get Anubis, and it was a great match back and forth. Again, that was just yesterday, so I have a great memory.
It was yesterday, Rambino. I want to know, which map do you think will work best for a GOATS map? If you had to pick one, would it be Hanamura? Hanamura or Anubis?
So Anubis benefits more from flanking, I feel. However, GOATS is better suited for Hanamura simply because you have more room to play around with, especially on that first point. You can take that momentum, and because GOATS has a bit more mobility than a flanking team, I feel, in some instances. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously Tracer, Genji are going to be way more mobile than, tanks. But that being said, GOATS works when you can keep healing in a closed off space. Now, there are a lot of open space in Temple of Anubis, and it doesn't work that well because there's plenty of ways to counter those pushes.
And right before we get started, I would like to know who is the one player we need to keep an eye on for both teams. We're going to start off with you, Spiff. One player from the side of Shanghai that everyone should keep their eyes on.
Ryutix.
That is an easy one, but we all agree. I'm pretty sure Rambino.
Okay, but I had to go someone besides Ryutix.
Right.
I would point to Chicken Nugger initiating on a monkey pick because I feel I've seen him do it. Ranger's going to be a good pushing forward on the Reinhardt, so I want to see their main tanks, and I want to see them do a really good initiation. They're both good at it. I'm looking forward to.
Excellent. I'm assuming you agree with those picks, Rambino, for the side of Shanghai.
So for Shanghai, I actually want to keep an eye on Mama RG. The Mercy plays that we saw were fantastic last time. And seeing that hybrid aggression, I would almost, because again, keep in mind that they had a Lucio Mercy comp. And if Lucio is on the payload, you're only relying on a single target healer to keep your team alive. And she was doing a fantastic job. So if those supports are not focused down, it's going to be very beneficial for the team fighting for Shanghai.
Excellent. Now we're going to jump onto the side of Carolina Cosmic. Spiff, who do we need to keep an eye on?
Now, again, I'm not as familiar with them, but I do know Mana Meme, and that's going to be one of their tanks over there on Carolina. So, again, I'm looking for good initiations. I feel that every DPS in the OCC has good follow-up potential, but I really think the tanks need to be good at making the room to allow those picks to happen. So I'm going to be starting to watch those two, and I believe Mana Meme was one of the tanks on Carolina.
Excellent. Rambino, your thoughts on who we should keep an eye on from the side of Carolina Cosmic?
That's a hard one, only because they all play well. It's so difficult to pin one down, especially now that this will be a clash of the Titans.
Excellent. Good to know. And here we are getting really close to starting map number 1. Match between the Carolina Cosmic against the Shanghai Staggered. The map is going to be Anubis once again to wrap up the season here, the first season of OWCC. So casters, please take it away.
Awesome sauce, guys. I am Swiftastic Me. I'll be doing your play-by-play this round. Top left in the blue, you have Carolina Cosmic. Top right in your red, you have our Shanghai Stagger. For the top left, again, Carolina Cosmic, they are going to be... Are they sticking in the middle? They're going to be attacking first. I never can tell which team is going to be attacking and defending, but it looks like they're going to be defending Carolina Cosmic first, and then we're actually going to go back because they needed to reset. But those are your two sides. Those are your teams. Carolina Cosmic in blue, Shanghai Staggered in red. Really curious on which one's going to be going on defense. I don't think we're going to see what I want, which is going to be the treehouse defense. I don't know. I don't see a lot of Symmetra players on either side, and that's how most of the time you can actually get up to that treehouse. Again, treehouse is when you are actually holding just above the point. So if you're the attackers looking at the point, it's above and to the left of the point, so you can still see the attackers come forward. You'd usually have like an Orisa up there. You'd have a lot of ranged DPS, either snipers, you have a Bastion, you have something up there that's normally not supposed to be able to get up there, and just raining death from above. So I'm curious to see if we'll get that, but maybe not, maybe not. How about you, Rambino?
I personally just want to see a Sombra. Just throw me a Sombra. There aren't very many Sombra players in the league, but I tell you right now, Sombra self-destruct combo, it's something to be admired, valued, and above all worshipped.
I completely agree. Again, the EMP Diva combo is one of those beautiful things in Overwatch where, oh, Diva's throwing her mech into the middle of us. Don't worry, we're behind Ryan's shield. Oh, EMP gets rid of all shields. Well, balls, and then they explode. That's the great combo that happens. So if they are trying to actually get behind a shield for cover versus using line of sight, they will explode and die. But again, it looks like Carolina Cosmic, top left in your blue again, is going to be on defense. Shanghai, top right in your red, is going to be on attack. Coming out from the defensive side, Rambino, what do we have?
Well, from the defense here, we have Prim on Lucio, Manameme on Orisa, Jacques on Diva, Huey on Anna, Chunk on a Junkrat, and Sect on the Widowmaker.
Awesome sauce. We're going to be going with... you don't usually see that combo of tanks where the Orisa is with anybody but a Hog, and this time we're seeing a Diva. Why is that?
Well, there are several reasons for that, but I will tell you right now that if you don't put the puzzle pieces together, it will not work in a team comp. That goes without saying.
Well, coming out on the side of the attackers, Shanghai, Staggered, Ranger, and Chicken are going to be your main tanks. In fact, being both main tanks, we got Reinhardt and Monkey. Mama RG up, going to be up in the air, probably with Aqua Kid, who's up in the, who does get picked off by Huey right away. So Anna does take down and is going to be res right away. Sec goes down to Ryutix. It's still in the favor of the defenders still. Moving on, they're going to go ahead and go on the very top right. Charge from Ranger, who gets Jacques demeched. It's Ryutix that does get mini Jacques, and they're going to be moving the fight onto the point. Primus and Manoim here on the point trying to defend. Chicken Nugger drops back down after contesting the high ground to get him off. Mears is up on the high ground shooting balls from Fury up from above. Chicken Nugger finishing off Chunk. And right now it does look like Shanghai Staggered in this first push are going to be able to kind of swarm, find points, find kills, and take the first point.
Now, I'd also like to keep an eye on Ryutix. He's playing Genji, but he's also known for his Doomfist, and Sec did switch off from Doomfist into a McCree, so we're going to see how that affects the next fight.
I'll give props to Huey dealing with the Pharah, and Aqua Kid's actually going to be taken out by Primus's boop! And then Mama RG right there, get him back up in the air, start pushing. Primus actually being very aggressive as a Lucio, so we'll be dropping right in the middle of the team, but they are putting down middle, it looks like, not really good. Shatter is going to be shielded and then Maywalled for good measure. Valkyrie comes out, here comes out Anna Boost. Anna Boost actually getting, maybe mistargeted onto Lucio. Aqua Kid getting the kill on Chunk. Sec does find Ryutix. Stun kill combo. Transcendence coming out from the side of Stagger. It could be on the point, sustain and allowed. Manoim coming in, gets a charge onto Mears right after Transcendence fails. Ranger Hoover gonna get Huey in retaliation, and Manoim get double kill into Mama RG. Both healers going down to the Reinhardt Hammer. Sec double kill into Aqua Kid and Ranger. Chunk is gonna take down Chicken Nugget. That's gonna be a hold on second point in favor of Carolina.
I have a small prediction here that even though we have 5 minutes for Shanghai to push, they could possibly bank maybe 3 minutes, and we're still going to see another set of rounds being played because these teams really do go back and forth very well.
And they absolutely were. You're just not seeing the kill feed necessarily go too far in one direction until later in the fight. It's back and forth. And unfortunately, Aqua Kid getting picked off, but it is Mama RG right there with reses of power to keep their team full force and pushing forward. They're going to try and flank around the right. Ryutix going to the left. They're trying to start and then transition into the middle. And a grenade on to Ranger Hoover as they come around. Ryutix dashing in the back. Charge comes out. Does find the Reinhardt. Aqua Kid's going to help finish that off. Ryutix does get Primus. Uses the Eugene Kaioken. High Noon being shielded. Double kill from Jacques. Ranger and Mears both fall. Sec does find the High Noon onto Ryutix as he was holding it for a long time. And then gets Aqua Kid for good measure. And they're going to hold again for Carolina.
Now, their defense is clean, don't get me wrong, but looking at the ult economy, the next team fight is going to depend a lot on how Mei performs here, only because you have an Earth Shatter, you have a Primal Rage, you have a Barrage. If Mei does not set up properly, this could be devastating for Carolina.
And they do not have the Transcendence, which is a very good counter to being everyone on your team being frozen, because you are getting that fantastic healing per second. But they are going to just try and decide which way they're going to attack. They have gone down the middle. They've gone down the right to the middle. See what they're going to decide this time. Aqua Kid playing more with the team versus trying to poke because of Sect and Huey. It's going to be very dangerous. Ryutix dashing. Does try and get the flanking team member of Carolina. They're going to push him back. They're going to decide to go all the way to they are trying to figure out to go to the left. They're doing a lot of poke damage, building up more of their ult. Again, Aqua Kid does have the ult. Mama RG is going to have Valk. There's an Angry Monkey and a Shatter. They're going to go all the way to the left. Valkyrie pops as they come through. They're going to try and dash forward. Monkey dashing forward, but there is a good Maywall, but it's not. Shatter comes down from Ranger, getting 2 down. Justice reigns onto Chunk's face. Ranger getting a charge onto Mana. There is a Lucio ult on the side of Carolina to try and sustain the rest of their team members enough to get the respawns in here. Ryutix does find Sect in the background. Huge and a grenade from Huey is going to help him finish off the Ranger Hoover. Jacques is hit out of mech by Ryutix. Aqua Kid getting Huey in the background. Mama RG with another huge res, but a nice fat Shatter from Mana comes around, starts sweeping him up. Triple kill from the Mana meme. Ryutix does take him down eventually, as well as Chunk right after. Sec finding Aqua Kid in the air. And then getting the Primus does finish it off Ranger. Ryutix is the only one on the point, is trying to die on point or get away, but another very impressive defense from Carolina.
It was clean, it was chaotic, it's such a weird contradiction here, an oxymoron if you will. Carolina, somehow, some way, holding the point almost as if they have everything planned down to a science, keeping them off the point.
And they are doing a fantastic job. It was the ult economy was in favor of Shanghai as they push forward. It shows right now as they have none online. Ryutix is going to be the closest. Defensive still have 2 in their pocket. See with how they use it. The Shanghai pushing forward on the right. Ryutix taking the high ground with MoRG dashing. Ryutix dashing forward. Maywall comes out. Eugene Okeo Ken looking for some picks. Nerfus comes in retaliation to Ryutix. Is not going to find anybody. Vanderbeam doesn't get the charge on Chicken Nugget. Sec getting the pick on the Mamba RG. Those are 2 great picks on the side of Carolina. Shatter is going to be used anyway by Ranger. Does get Chunk on the ground, lined up and charged into the wall. Shock does finish him for it. Sec getting Aqua Kid, who is switched off onto the Junkrat as they're trying to find a better way to bust through this wall that is coming up from Carolina Cosmic.
I'm not one to pick on Ryutix, but I will say it's a little weird seeing him commit to Genji when I feel like Doomfist here would actually be more effective because he can get in that back line faster.
He did dash forward. The Maywall was there, so he could not receive healing. The Genji Blade was not able to get enough value. I do like to change onto the Junkrat. Chicken Nugget going on to a Zarya to help maybe more or less be able to brawl with your Reinhardt on the point against that Mei, because D.Va not the best counter to a Mei, because Mei just freezes right through Defense Matrix. It's not going to work. But they are going through it to the left. They're trying to find some value here. Dashing forward, finding some more damage ults. Most of the ults again on the side of the defensive. RG close to have got an Aqua Kid with Maywall comes out, does kind of get out. Ranger Hoover is walled off, taken out by Primus. A double kill comes out from Aqua Kid and the res under Ranger. This is in favor of Shanghai. Coalescence coming out as well. The kill does get on the mini D.Va. Sect is here, does take out Ranger, but then killed by Ryutix. They got 1 tick. They do have the tick. Huey is taken out by Aqua Kid. The Shatter comes out. 3 members down from Mana. Again, coming out of that side pocket, finding people to shatter on the ground. Nearest is taken out by Chunk because of it. A great wall to get at Mama RG out the way, but is able to dash around the side. Chunk is finished up Chicken Nugget, and now Mei ult onto the point is going to be enough to push them all the way back. They did get a tick, 45.7% for Shanghai, and they dug in their heels again, Carolina, to say no more.
Another clean defense, but also a very aggressive push from Shanghai. They are going back and forth just how I expect them to, and really, neither side is willing to concede to the other.
They are being very aggressive. Carolina has pushed almost to their spawn. Manameme is actually here, very overextended. Now, they did find some picks onto Shanghai for it, but he is taken down by Chicken Nugget. They're going to start pushing forward. Lucio is using his speed boost to get his team back to the defensive position. And they're coming forward, and the rest of the Carolina Cosmic will be online. Fire in the hole coming in from Aqua Kid, this needs to find somebody important. Aqua Kid does get chunked. Shatter comes out from Ranger, is not going to find anyone. The D.Va Bomb comes out, no one. High Noon coming out from Carolina is being shielded, is going to be enough damage to kill Ranger. Grab comes out, catches 3. Not enough follow-up. Primus is taken down by Ryutix. Sec taking Nierce down. Manameme going to get Aqua Kid with that Fire Strike. Sec double kill onto Ryutix. Jock killing out Chicken Nugget. And it's going to be 45.7% on second point for Shanghai, but Carolina was not giving them any more.
They defended for 6 minutes. Now,
yes,
that's not impossible, but again, Carolina is one heck of a defending team, and Shanghai, with their aggression, they almost had it. They almost had 2/3, but Carolina was able to push them off in time.
Very impressive defense from Carolina Cosmic. Let's see what if Shanghai can bring up that same defensive, or if Carolina can show what Shanghai couldn't do with their aggressive build when they go forward.
I'm really going to eyeball that teleporter if they commit to that Symmetra. I'm really looking forward to seeing some plays with that.
I'm curious if they will be doing what I was hoping, Treehouse, but if they do, all their range DPS is going to be a Sniper Mei from Ryutix, or the Balls of Fury coming up from Nierce. Symmetra's balls again. Her alt fire does a lot of damage. It no longer pierces as the days of old, which I absolutely adored, because I could take down Pirate Ship because Bastion wouldn't move and it'd go through shields. It'd be fine. So I wouldn't maybe. Do you think they're going to set up on Treehouse with this?
I would hope, but unfortunately, looking at the way that Shanghai has built their team right now, they lack a lot of damage, and depending on that Mei is not going to be enough. Look, they have the D.Va, they have the Winston. They are going to push and pressure Shanghai. They cannot afford to just sit behind an Orisa barrier at this time.
I agree, especially if they are able to dive, find a good pickup on top. The pause is because there might be an issue with one of the players on one of the teams. We're not going to let you know which one that is. Just give them a second; they'll work it out. That's a ref issue. But kind of looking at the comps and see what's happening right now. If Carolina moves forward with this comp, even with those dive tanks, Sect being up in the air, unless Ryotix can hit some great icicles, I think he's going to go uncontested. Sect might get some great picks, even boop people off from the treehouse. A well-placed fair boop will be plenty. And yeah, we're getting some issues here from the ref on the side of Carolina. There's some issues with the roster and updated SR rankings. There is a lot of rules to make sure that it's kind of even back and forth depending on who's playing against who. And so did find a few issues. Going to try and get those resolved quickly, and we can hopefully get back into the game. If we need to sub someone out, hopefully that can happen quickly. But right now, Shanghai does have 1 point and 45.7% onto the second, and we're about to have Carolina go on to attack.
In the meantime, I have a question for you, Spiff. Which
Lay it on me.
Overwatch hero do you think would be most fun at a party?
Oh my goodness, best at a party. Well, obviously, I'm going to go with Lucio first. He'd be able to drop the beat, give us some great songs to listen to. He would be the party guy, and I think he'd be one of those clean party guys. I don't think of him in like a college frat party DJ. I think he's more of just same kind of age group, but without the sex, drugs, and drinking. Which, you know what? There'd be some spike. I'm very sure. That wouldn't be from Lucio, but I would say he would be the party animal. How about you?
Well, I'm gonna say Reinhardt. He's the kind of guy that brings 2 kegs on both of his shoulders. He says,
goodness.
"The party has arrived," or whatever, And
He would charge in through the door
wearing a
from his
toga.
Reinhardt charge.
And he drinks so heavily that Torbjorn and him just get into a drinking contest. And right before one of them passes out, it's a memorable experience all around.
My favorite hero is the 2-minute break hero. So when we come back, we'll hopefully get this game started. So just stay with us. 2-minute break. Stay tuned.
MVP.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We are still waiting for the game to resume, but we're going to go ahead and have the casters kind of give us a little insight as to what is currently going on between Carolina Cosmic and Shanghai Staggered. Rambino, can you let us know give us an update?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we did have a minor drop of communication here. We did see somebody subbed in for Carolina Cosmic. According to the roster, he was not eligible to play. That is unfortunate, but not to worry. We've still got you covered. We're breaking down the news. And as it stands right now, Carolina Cosmic successfully was able to defend against Shanghai Staggered in the second point, only allowing them to capture 1/3 of the capture pie, so to speak.
So they are going to bring in Hero Bryant in place of Primus and see if we can't get this game rolling, which we are, is what I can tell. We're going to go right back into it. Again, Shanghai was able to do a mostly successful first attack. They got the first point. They got almost halfway through the second point, and they're switching sides. We already kind of talked about what we see coming up from Shanghai in terms of defense, what we'd like to see. And I still have the same thoughts if Carolina sticks with the mode they have right now, because the 2 dive tanks with the Pharah up in the air, Shiganugger is going to have his work cut out for him, trying to defend his back and deal with the Pharah. And if the Pharah can get a good boop on wherever they're kind of holed up, I feel like they're going to be able to use that as a dive target. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that kind of combo. Displace somebody, dive in and get some.
Well,
just
that
dive
was
in
well
and get
said,
somebody.
Spiff.
Just
Exactly
dive in,
what we want to
get
see.
somebody. We are going to be starting. Yes, pausing is undoing it, or undoing their pause. The game continues. Again, coming out from defense, top right. Again, Shanghai Staggered. Top left in your blue is Carolina Cosmic. Defending Rambino. Go ahead and give us another breakdown of what we're seeing here.
Alrighty, well, for the defenders here, we have Shanghai Staggered in the red, Ranger Hoover on Risa, that Mercy Chicken Nugger on Diva, Mirst on Symmetra, Aqua Kid 2000 on Brigitte, and Ryudix on the May.
Again, that is basically a tree house. You see this positioning that they were using. The map is, they were going to try and continue with the map, but unfortunately, because of that one big thing, that one issue that happened, the map is going to be forfeit, and it's going to be given over to Shanghai. And I would have loved to see Shanghai's defense into the attacking of Carolina, but because of that issue, they did get somebody in there, absolutely fine. But they're going to go ahead and I believe give that to Shanghai because of the slight problem we had from Carolina. And we're going to take this into the next map.
I believe we are going to go ahead and jump into the next map right away. It's a shame because we did see, in my opinion, a wonderful defensive side coming from the side of Carolina Cosmic. Do you guys want to quickly talk about that map 1, game round 1, essentially, from both sides? Any thoughts on that, on Shanghai, Spiff?
Shanghai was able to get that first point with one good go, and then they started running into a wall. They did try and change it up. They weren't always going down the middle. They tried using left, which had some success. They had some swaps coming in probably later than I would have liked. They found success when they got into the Junkrat and the Doomfist, as opposed to what they had Aqua Kid up in the air as a Pharah, which is still a good counter to what the defense of Carolina was running. And then the Doomfist switch, I feel that's what kind of pushed them over the edge to help them get the last couple percentage, get that first tick. It was just, I was actually very, very impressed by how long and how well Carolina was holding that second point.
Unlike on Hanamura, where you usually see a Mei come online for the first choke, we saw Mei coming online on the second point here on Anubis. Rambino, I want to know your thoughts on that Mei pick for the Cosmic side. Do you think that actually ended up working on their favor?
So, ironically, I will say the only time I've ever seen this happen, I have to bring up Ryudix was able to deflect the only Blizzard I saw used for Cosmic. And at back of my head, it didn't dawn on me until I saw that the circle was red and they didn't have a Mei. So, congratulations, Ryudix. You successfully deflected a Blizzard from Mei.
And I happened to catch that, actually. So once the game is over, we can...
I'm the only one that missed it.
We can actually clip that out and share that with everyone. That was a fantastic reaction coming in from Ryudix. But again, I want to kind of break down the defensive side on the second point for the side of Carolina Cosmic. Spiff, do you have any thoughts on how that was essentially executed? That in essence, it did work.
It did work, and I'm going to give props to Chunk on the Mei. There were some great Mei walls. They even if they didn't always necessarily get a pick, they split the team, even that split couple seconds to allow them to get a better position to find somebody to kill. In the Mei ult, the one that was not reflected, definitely helped clear out the point as Shanghai was getting closer and closer to getting more and more percentages. But great Mei play, and the fact that she got 2 ults, even though that was 6 minutes, that shows how well the Mei was playing. You're hitting your right clicks, you're freezing people, and you're getting good walls. So I think that was a big hurdle that Shanghai couldn't get over.
And go ahead, Rambino, please.
It goes to Snow that hard work really does pay off.
I don't know what's more painful, that or the 10-minute break that we had to forcefully take. But actually, Rambino, I want to hear your thoughts on Ryutix. We usually put him on a good spotlight, but this time around, you were questioning his Genji pick, and you were suggesting that maybe he should swap to a Doomfist because you think he's essentially a much better Doomfist. He can have a greater impact, no pun intended, on the fight. Can you give us a little bit more background as to that thought?
So from what I've seen, Ryudix has a very strong Genji, and he usually doesn't bring out the Doomfist until Lijiang Tower, which it looks like will be the next map. However, even though Doomfist was adjusted, I feel that he's still in a good place. Ryudix could have definitely taken advantage, especially with Cosmic's team comp. The Genji Blade would not have gotten nearly as much value, I feel, if he had swapped earlier. And unfortunately, he didn't really pick up any big plays with it. The Doomfist Meteor Strike, I think, would have been able to penetrate that backline way faster and more efficiently.
I want to give props to Manami on defense as well. Twice in the one as they were pushing, he came out from again attacker's point of view, the left side, and both times came around, got a shatter, 3 people on the floor, both times. So props. Those are 2 players that popped into my mind as defensive that really stopped the Shanghai push.
We did see some massive plays coming in from both Reinhardts, in my opinion, from the side of Cosmic and Shanghai Staggered. I'm going to stay with the team Shanghai Staggered here. And Spiff, I want you to give me your thoughts on them keeping that Reinhardt-Winston tank duo on the front line. Obviously, we know that's essentially their signature duo when it comes, for tank lineups. But do you think Anubis, especially the second point, do you think it's friendly to that kind of tank duo?
On the first point, absolutely. Reinhardt can escort whoever is not going to be vertically able, like any of the slow healers, the ones that are on the ground, not able to jump. So the Reinhardt can push forward, have the shield up and kind of protect him from death raining from above. Chicken Nugget was able to dive behind where the defensive Carolina was on that first point and do enough pressure. I feel like he should have switched off early to that Zarya. We did see the Zarya come out later as they're pushing to attack the second point. But I feel if he got that sooner, he would have had more than the one grab that I remember seeing, and I think there would have been an even bigger follow-up that would have been able to combo with Ryutix wanting to stay on Genji, and I feel that would have really bust through that wall.
Excellent. And the second map, as you guys might already know, it's going to be Lijiang Tower, everyone's favorite. I know we have a blast every time we cast this map. So casters, please take it away.
Here we are, Lijiang Tower again. Top left in your blue, Carolina Cosmic. Top right in your red is Shanghai Staggered. Again, Shanghai was given that last map due to a small little issue that made them forfeit the map. But on Lijiang Tower, it is a control map. Essentially, there are 3 different types of maps in Lijiang Tower. This one is the Gardens, and the first team to get 2 out of 3 of those maps in the kind of a King of the Hill matchup will take it. It is more, each map is basically mirrored down the middle. There's no real differences depending on if you're on the right or the left, except that if you flank on the right side, it's like the other team flank on their left side. Here on this one, it is, I would love to see Lucio's, which I see on both sides, because Lucio is a great control point hero. AoE people are grouped up most of the time, so he's going to get a lot of benefit from his speed boost and his healing. Top left, Rambino, what do we have from Carolina?
Well, from Carolina, we've got Hero Bryant on Anna, Nanameme on Winston Vert, on Diva Huey on Zenyatta, Star Destroyer swapping into a Brigitte and Sect, going Hammond And there you have it.
I guess we're 3-3 on your top right. Shanghai, they'll be starting to flank on your right, but they have Ranger and Chicken Nugget, both main tanks again, Ryan and Winston. They're actually going to go ahead and engage together on this first point. Discords come out. Rune League healing on Lucio, as always. Mirari healing on Moira. And Ryutix does start with the Doom Fist here on this control map, and it does look like, even though nobody died, the pressure was more significant on Shanghai's side, and they're going to move on to the point. It does look like Carolina's coming all the way around the other side. Uppercuts come around. Both bubbles come down from both Winstons. Ryutix finding a kill on Star Destroyer. Sek using the merry-go-round technique from the Hammond to basically go around that one pole and swing around. Bert finding the kill on Ryutix. It's 1-1 right now. Super King Nick does make it in favor of Shanghai. Ranger falls, so now it's back to 4-4. Diving in, it's still even matchup. If they want to push in with this, it is again 4-4, and it's an even amount of time back and forth for who can get back from spawn first. Ryutix does rejoin the rest of his Shanghai. We have Manamine coming back as a monkey. They're deciding to push in now. And here comes out the ult from Ana to boost the monkey as he dives in. That increases his damage from 40 to 60 damage per second at his little tickle. He starts to tickle and move it on to the point. Transcendence comes out and keeps his team sustained until they can come back and regroup to find some targets. Star Destroyer getting Chicken Nugget. Die, getting Vert out of mech and mini version as well. Ryutix double kill onto healers of Hero and Huey. Right now, Shanghai looks like they're not going to allow Carolina to move it in their favor. Shanghai's going to hold this one.
As predicted, Ryutix has swapped back to that Doomfist for this map, and it really does shine. He's got the Meteor Strike ready. Rune Lee rocking that Lucio, per usual. Mirari on the Moira. It's a really good control map for Shanghai yet again.
Again, Moira and Lucio, great control map ones for reasons based on what I'm about to tell you. Lucio, again, AoE healing, AoE speed boost. Moira orbs bounce off walls. A lot of control maps have walls that make that if you can do a great full shot and make it bounce back and forth and get most value out of those orbs, it's going to be amazing. And a lot of AoE heals that are pierces through. Ryutix getting a pick on Huey. He nerfed this, comes out, not going to get anybody. Got Rune Lee dropping the beat to keep his team alive, but it is still 6-5 in favor of Shanghai. Shatter comes down, and Bert does get Rune Lee, but it was no follow-up onto that Shatter. Bert knocked out of the mech. It looks like Super King Nick going to be getting that mech kill. Ryutik's going to finish off Sek. Not the usual kills you see. More of a mobile, ground-based hero killing someone in the air. Super King. They basically made Shanghai looks like they made Carolina have to come to them, and with their more brawly brawly build of a Reaper and a punching man, was able to push back anything that was coming from Carolina. What do you think, Rampino?
That was definitely, I would agree with you. I mean, it really goes without saying that Peanut Butter and Jelly, Shanghai, and control maps, there are no better duos. You can't change my mind. Now, I do want to see them get nervous again. We have seen Shanghai get nervous when it comes to their control maps superiority, but it will do nothing to just make them nervous. Carolina needs to be a massive show of force to show they mean business here.
Now, Shanghai Staggered not going to be changing the comp up, so we're going to look over at Carolina. We're going to be changing a few things up. Instead of Ana, we got Mercy, hoping to get some res and keep everyone alive, because it was having and some issues when the picks happen to get the res back up, get it back and even. We have the changes from Star Destroyer, instead of being in the air, on the ground. We're dealing with Soldier, Sek going to be going on to a McCree. Double hit scans, trying to maybe stun and deal with Ryutix, who is, again, just in the middle of Carolina and not able to be taken down. It did seem that Shanghai was able to get to the point and make the fight happen there. Rune Lee going to finish off Sek. Manamine does find Ryutix in the back. This 5v5. Shatter already coming. Does help finish off a few. She's got a charge on the Super King. Chicken Nugget finds Vert. Still even. Manamine makes it in favor of Carolina right now. It does look like Shanghai is going to pop Coalescence to try and keep this alive, because they did get control of the point. They are basically fighting for percentage right now. Res coming out from Hero onto Vert. Mirari does get a kill on the Star Destroyer. Ryutix does come back on the point. Again, there's more or less stalling for percentages, because they are already on the 20%. Sek killing Super King, and it looks like with 5 people on the point, Carolina's going to take it back after Shanghai gets 28.3%.
Well, I know what you mean, Spiff. That Reinhardt, fantastic in the plays. Very smooth transition back onto the point. They are definitely giving Shanghai a run for their money.
Manamine already has another Shatter. That first encounter, he already used it, and now he has one up ready to go again. They're going to start diving in, looking for targets, forcing Huey to use Transcendence. He was about to die and decides to use it. High Noon coming out, finding a pick, finds Rune Lee, where he can get around a corner. It is even 5v5. Charge comes out, punches come out, and they're basically not going to be on the point, and it does go back in favor of Shanghai. And another ult being used from Carolina in almost a losing battle, as it already switched over to their side. Burt just taking down Ranger Hoover, and Chicken Nugget double kill coming out from Zarya. Now she is more or less on the point by herself. Shatter from Manamine from around the side. 4 members fall on the ground. Ryutix, even though a double kill happens, Manamine starts cleaning up Mirari. Hero does get Huey back up. Ryutix punches Sect in the face. Super King double kill to Mana and Huey. That was a fat shatter. There was not enough members of Carolina to come and finish to clean up what he was putting down, but it does go back in favor of Shanghai, 64% and counting.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe this is the highest percentage we've seen for a game versus Shanghai on a control map.
Now they are doing it. Here comes out the grab from Carolina. The Super King decided to come in and say, get away from my grabbing friends. Gets a triple kill onto Sec, Mana, and Hero. Huey does take down Ryutix. After somehow Ryutix then kills Huey. And then Mirari takes down Burt Chicken Nugget, finishing off Star Destroyer. And it's still in favor of Shanghai. They are at the breaking point. Carolina needs to get this next push, but they're getting pushed back really hard by Shanghai. They're pushing it all the way towards their spawn right now. Angry Monkey kill comes out. Super King double kill to Mana and Vert, and it does look like they're not even going to give them an opportunity to get on the point, but someone decides to flank. We got a Valk coming out to kind of get on the point and get that overtime started. Shatter comes out again from Mana, knocking down Ranger on the floor. Chicken Nugget does finish off Hero, who is on the point. Ranger does get the charge on the Mana meme, and it's going to be a 2-0 Li Zhang cap for our Shanghai Staggered.
That was amazing. And let's go ahead and take it to play of the game here, brought to you by Mirari as Moira. Alrighty, no coalescence, but we could see some excellent healing here. Graviton Surge is dropped, and the healing orb does go down. Here we go. That's 1 assist. How about another one and a third one? Take it or leave it. There you go. Fantastic on behalf of Mirari.
Mirari able to do a lot of piercing, huge AoE healings. Again, Moira has kind of a certain amount she can do before she has to recharge, but that was a great play by Moira using the healing orb versus the damage orb to keep her grabbed teammates alive. Guys, we're going to take a short 2-minute break. When we come back, we'll break down this control map a little bit more. Stay tuned.
I'm running away from this pain. I'm trying to find a new way where the sun's shining down on my face. I'm running away. You're in a toxic relationship. Time to be free.
Hello, welcome back, everyone. Julik here with Spiff-tastic me and Childish Rambino. We're going to go ahead and break down game number 2, Lijiang Tower, match between Shanghai Staggered against the Carolina Cosmic. Now, we just saw a very dominant side of Shanghai Staggered, doing essentially what we all expected, winning the control map in 2 games. Spiff, I want you to help us understand why Shanghai is so strong when it comes to control maps.
What's happened both times, and I'm seeing this, I see the pattern now. It's happening a lot. They are engaging and then backing off to make the fight happen on the point. It happened on the first map, and it got them the control of it first, and then they basically never let go of it. And then the second one, although there was a fight going on, they played the objective, and the fight never ended, but it went in control of Shanghai, and they had 20% by the time Carolina even pushed the fight to the point. So I feel like one of the reasons Shanghai is so good at this is they're able to decide where they want the fight to happen, and make always that fight positioning is always in favor of them playing the objective.
Now, a follow-up question. Maybe Rambino, you want to jump on this one, but Spiff, how crucial or how much of an impact does Ryutik's on Doomfist from the very beginning had on this 2 maps on Lijiang Tower?
So the golden thing about what can happen is that Shanghai has the ability to create beautiful zoning opportunities. They can push in when they need to. They can keep that forward aggression, but the Doomfist ties it together. You have that beautiful, compact sweeping of Carolina off the point. Now, the thing is, it's crucial to have that kind of CC. That crowd control is really what keeps them off the point, keeps them entertained, and then as it ticks up, you just hit that sweet spot of 88%, and boom, you're good.
Spiff, your thoughts?
I agree. It seems that when I looked at Ryutik's and where he was positioned, there was a lot of diving opportunities, and he was with Chicken Nugget on the monkey. So they found targets again. They chose a target during one of those last fights, jump on Zenyatta, and they all initiated at the same time. Zenyatta was forced to use trans right away, and not necessarily forced. It keeps him alive and lets his team be sustained into that team fight that's happening. And then their actual dive attack is negated more or less by the transcendence happening. That's a huge ult that could have been used later, but still got a good enough value. So I'd say because Ryutik's work so well with Chicken Nugget on diving, getting those punch targets, working as a team versus being total flank Doomfist, it worked out much more in their favor.
Excellent. And I feel like them having that dual tank combination of Reinhardt keeping the ground cover and Winston being able to cover so much ground with the leap alongside Doomfist, Ryutik's on the Doomfist being able to follow the Winston, it just created a whole mess for the side of Carolina Cosmic. But with that in mind, we are ready to take you guys into game number 3. The map is going to be one of my favorites, Dorado. Casters,
Dorado,
take it away.
Dorado is beautiful. It is a payload map. The objective of the attacking team is to start moving the payload. When at least one of their persons is on the payload, it slowly starts moving forward towards the next checkpoint. They get a checkpoint, they get a point, and they get some more time to continue pushing it to the end up to 3 points. The way the defenders work is the defenders have to stop the progression of the payload. They just need one of their people or knock all the attacking people off the payload. And once they do that, it'll slowly start ticking backwards. Not as fast as it goes forwards, but enough. On defense first, top left is Carolina Cosmic. Rambino, what do we have?
We've got Chunk on Hanzo, Hero Bryant again on the Anna Vert on Reinhardt, Lazy Healer on Brigitte, Urzo on Zarya, and Sect on the Sombra.
Defensive Sombra, maybe to kind of be an anti-dive, expecting Ryutik's to dive as we see. And I love what I'm seeing right now. D.Va is escorting the map, but the rest of Shanghai is being sneaky, crouching, and is going to be immediately discovered by Lazy Healer on the Brigitte as they dive down to try and engage the 5 members who get a huge and a grenade as well from Hero, but he is taken down by Runely. Super King going to take down Lazy Healer as well. They were found out towards that last little bit. They're essentially sneaking down to flank the high ground where they knew Carolina would most likely be defending, and they're going to very aggressively come and push forward with 5, keeping 1 back on the payload, and that's just a very good first push from Shanghai.
That was rather unconventional, but not definitely out of the cards for Shanghai. They love taking flanking routes, and that definitely worked out for them.
I am going to give props to Chunk, who was a little bit curious when the payload came around the corner and there was just a D.Va, and he went ahead and used a Sonic Arrow below him to let him give a little bit of notice. But Ryotix does get the pick on Lazy here. Hyro falls down to Chicken Nugget. And again, already in favor. Here, Super King going to take down Vert. And they are just they are pushing forward. And I don't know if Carolina is expecting that. And they're going to take that first point to get some more time. They have 5 minutes to get from point A to point B, and we're going to see what Carolina needs to do. And in fact, Rambino, what does Carolina need to do to stop this push?
Well, the chunk on the Reaper is going to be a good start, but we're going to see probably a couple more swaps so that you can adjust. Ryutix on the Genji yet again. Mama RG again with the Mercy, doing a fantastic job of keeping people alive. It really boils down to you need to focus the back line. Otherwise, you're just going to see what you're going to see over and over and over again.
Now they are in a very bad position for Ryutix to come in with a blade. Does find a double kill onto Hero and Murzo. Chicken Nugget gonna help clear up a lot of that with the tickle damage, and they're just gonna, they see them all in a hole, and they're just gonna ult and start sweeping them up with a blade. Not the normal way you'd see it, but it seemed to work that time.
Now, I'm actually a big fan of Mei on this map as well. Disages.
We have an EMP coming out from Sect right on. Does get enough of them. We're looking for it. Super King Nick. I'm going to ask Rambino reconnect just one time for me, please. Super King going to be using his Wraith to get out of the way, and that EMP is going to push back Shanghai. It is just one ult. So basically they give themselves 20 seconds as they come back and re-engage. Super King does get Vert. Nerf this comes out from the side of Shanghai. It die from Super King in the back. It's going to find Lazy Healer and Hero. He is Ana boosted. That is a lot of damage onto Chunk. Not enough to damage to finish off Cactus, who does get the final blow. And they're going to start pushing forward again. Very aggressive as they get the payload, get control of it, and continue pushing forward. Now, to make sure, can I get a check on Discord?
Hello.
I have Rambino. Do I have Julik?
Yes, we do. Yes, you do.
Cool. Awesome sauce. Just making double sure. Again, they're keeping one person on the point, and the 5 of them are being very, very aggressive. Dive tanks and the Genji, they're actually already on the very, very other side. Go ahead and give that call to back up. Sect does take down Chicken Nugget, who is then was about to be res, but Sect, to take down Chicken Nugget, also finds a head shot to Mama RG. And it actually gets Cactus out of mech. This change on to the McCree instead of the Sombra seems to be doing the trick for Carolina, because they're already holding them back very strong. We're gonna see, I wonder if they're going to kind of build in their heals like they did last time that we saw on Anubis.
Now, they are able to hold off Shanghai temporarily here, but the bad thing about this next point is how easy it is to push up after you sweep them off.
Absolutely, and the position that the payload is in right now, and the position from the attackers is you have the option to go low ground, and you have the option to go high ground. Curious which one they're going to be going, because right now Shanghai is very spread out. I like the defensive positionings coming out from Carolina. Chunk waiting in the back, not trying to flank. He's going to be back there to protect against the diving tanks that's been happening the entire game from Shanghai. They're going to slowly start moving the payload forward. Jumping, dive in the back. Another blade does get Hero right away. Rally comes out from Lazy High Noon, trying to does not find anyway. Angry Monkey from Chicken Nugget taking down Sec. Chunk does find Mama RG. Shatter coming down onto the ground, gets Cactus on the floor. Not enough damage to finish him off. Super King getting the kill on Vert, and they're going to start going around the second to last corner. They're just under the bridge right now. And they're gonna, looks like Carolina's gonna back up, regroup, get one good solid defense in, but here comes a nerf this just in the wall. It's not gonna find anyone because we've got a Wraith coming out from the Reaper. Super King actually falls to Urzo. Grab coming on the side of Carolina. Die from Chunk is gonna help clean up Chicken Nugget and Rune Lee. And that's gonna be another solid defense, and they're gonna hold here, Carolina.
Carolina's finally getting into the groove of things, but they did blow a lot of ults there, and I don't think they're going to be able to hold Super King sitting on that Death Blossom. And with a Valkyrie also coming up, it is going to be very, very difficult for a defensive hold this next team fight.
You guys might have been impressed that Cactus was staying alive so long in the payload. That was actually intentional by the defending side of Carolina. That's called staggering the stagger, giving them another 10 seconds. They would have to wait for D.Va to respawn and regroup with his team, which they are back now, and they're going to start moving forward, taking control of the high ground, and the tickle is going to happen. The poking is going to happen. Just a lot of chip damage. Sec 2 is changed onto the Tracer, is going to try and get in that back line. We put some more pressure on Mama RG and Runley. Super King on the high ground. Here comes up the Valk, here comes the die. Right in the middle of it is Sec does look like Retake gets the kill on Hero. Chunk just take down Chicken Nugget. Super King getting Chunk and Vert. It does look like Shanghai is going to go ahead and take this. Eugene Okeoken coming out is not going to be on the point just in time. With just over 2 minutes left, 3 points go on the side of Shanghai for this map.
The real brilliance there in Ryutik shining yet again, he did not ult. He was waiting to see what they would do, and great value out of that engage from the Death Blossom. That really did tie everything together.
Great positioning from Super King Nick on the high ground. Did Carolina ever contest high ground? It seemed like from the very beginning to the first capture point, even to the second one before they got inside, did they have the composition they needed besides Urzo to contest the high ground? Because it seemed like Shanghai was really just taking control of it, and it was in their favor almost every time.
So watching the way that Lazy Healer, and believe me, he's actually far from lazy, they're doing a fantastic job on Brigitte. It was a little delayed when the rally came out, and I do felt that that was enough to get them on a down spiral, and that they could not block Shanghai's forward push.
It would seem like Rutix came in, got the blade kill really quickly. Again, the blade slash does 120, you dash, you do 50. You are going to kill somebody very quickly. And Anna dropped down. Now rally used to try and keep the rest of this team up. Not enough. They were able to get around that last corner, but a very good defense. They had several good holds, stopping a lot of what Shanghai was throwing. And I appreciate what's happening right now with Mama RG and Chicken Nugget. They are playing jump rope on the high ground, same position they were in defense, and they don't seem to be changing much of their mode. But coming out from attack on Carolina, Chunk going back to the Hanzo, and then we have Sec going to be on a Torbjorn, playing a kind of automated pirate ship. Pirate ship, again, that term, where you put a turret or someone that just does a lot of damage onto the payload and shield it, and it'll do most of the damage for you. Turret gonna fall down from your ticks. They're gonna go ahead and dive onto it as they come around this corner. Chunk does take down Super King. Roomling gonna find Razy Healer, and then it's gonna be killed by Chunk. So double kill from our sniper with a bow. Ryutik's gonna take down Vert. And Ryutix is Anna grenaded because he decided to dash and get away. Second in the kill on Chicken Nugget. Ryutix finds Sect. Chunk, 3 people die to that bow. And it is a kill onto Mama RG. Ryutik's still here contesting with Mini Cactus. A huge Anna grenade is going to help them finish off Mini Cactus, and Ryutik's taking the high ground, is going to get away to the Mega and regroup with the rest of his team. But it does look like Carolina's going to be able to go all the way up to the fountain.
Now, what we're seeing here, Sect swapping into Ash. I'm a little sad that they're not going to commit to the pirate ship comp. I'm a big fan of Bastion, and I do know he's a very niche pick, but nonetheless, Carolina really making short work of Shanghai's defense.
We have kept the ults coming out from the Shimano Butters. Ryutix does find the kill on the hero again. Sec dynamite kill on the Cactus, but then it's killed by Ryutix. Double kill from that blade. Super King getting Urzo out of mech. Now, Bomber RG does res Cactus. Super King getting that double kill onto the mech and the version of the mini version, but it does look like Shanghai comes back with force and stops the push from Carolina.
With a quick update to the ult's economy, Super King almost ready with another Death Blossom. It seems that they've purposely staggered the ultimates. Ryutix is recharging his as Super King's comes up, probably on behalf of some excellent communication on their side.
Poking going on. I'm very impressed with the Hanzo play from Chunk, finding a lot of kills, a lot of picks. Well, it may not be on the ones that made him break all the way through, but he is definitely pulling a lot of weight from his team. Here comes out Vert, who gets an Anna boosted, then charge from Cactus, and then Anna grenade comes out. Chunk does find Super King, who is res in the middle of the fight from Mama RG. Nerf this coming out right on top of the fountain, finding Rune Lee from around the corner. Ryutix does get Sect in the back, and Chicken Nugget does find Chunk. It is right now slowly moving in favor again. They sleep onto that charge, and then a counter charge is going to help finish off Cactus. Ryutix does get him another blade, finishes off Hero, and starts slashing back Vert and finishes him off as well. And it does look like Shanghai holds it once again.
And looking at Sect, he cannot make up his mind, it looks like. We're seeing a third swap onto Roadhog. They are trying to take back that payload, and nothing they are doing is working. They are starting to panic.
They are trying to find something that is working. They are realizing that something is not working, and they're trying to decide what they need to be doing to push through this, because it does look like they are allowing Ryutix kind of dash in the middle of their entire team, not being punished enough. I liked the Torb pick because the Torbjorn turret does auto lock and auto hit, but it just seems that if he was pocketed enough from Mama RG to keep him alive, Chicken Nugget really, really, really low. As they push forward, hook comes on into Cactus. Cactus stunned and taken out by Chunk. Here comes another Dragon Strike that does get Ryutix. Double kill coming out from Chunk. This is their opportunity as Urzo does take down Super King. It looks like Shanghai is going to try and stall and get kills, just die on point if they can, or they can turn it around even better because Mama RG and Runely are staying alive. Chunk does find the pick on the Mercy. And Runely is trying to do the wall riding thing, but that's a great push and great hook initiation from the sect on the Roadhog that's allowing Carolina to push past the fountain right now towards the first point. Great sleep onto Ryutix on the high ground. Grab comes down the side. Shatter is going to be shielded. Die. Not finding so much because of a great healing, but it is like Chicken Nugget takes on Hero. Urzo does finish off Cactus. Again, the kill onto Chicken Nugget. Super King falls to Lazy Healer. Mama RG getting another res in the middle of the fight. Gets Cactus back up in here. Dragon Strike coming out again. Nerf this is going to be coming out from Shanghai. Is going to find Runely again. Chunk does get Cactus and it's Mama RG in Valkyrie form. Ryutix here on the payload, stalling at just less than a meter away to get this little bit. And they do get to the first point. They are given some more time and they're going to continue pushing. Good push, Carolina.
Now, they did take the point. However, they only have 2 minutes. They have been struggling. This has been an uphill battle for Carolina trying to push this payload. Now, if they commit to the Roadhog, it could be very bad as that's just free ult charge for Super King.
See if the Super King needs to be taken down so Roadhog can get those hooks and get some kills. Now, they are running it is a triple tank into the healers of Hero and Lazy. Lazy sticking back with the payload as it was moving forward. They're going to decide to stay with the payload as a team. Here comes a blade again from Ryutix, immediately finding Hero. Cactus going to take down Chunk. That's 2 down on Carolina's side already. And they're going to use Whole Hog to try and even it out. Ryutix is taking down Chicken Nugget, taking down Vert. 3 members left on the side of pushing Carolina. And they're going to retreat and try and regroup and go again. That was a lot of ults committed. And they're going to see what changes. And we actually have Ryutix changing off of Genji and going on to Doomfist. No changes on the side of Carolina this time.
So looking at the way that Carolina is team fighting, it isn't there right now. And they're trying their hardest. But really, Shanghai is just showing a big improvement in the way that they're coordinating.
Dragon Blade does take down Super King Nick. Mama RG is doing the Battle Mercy and does get a kill with her pistol. And then immediately reses Super King. And they're fighting off the payload now. And they are getting pushed back. D.Va in a wrong position. Super King Nick decided using Die, gets shielded after killing Lazy Healer. And then hooked and is going to use his Brave to back up. Sec with another Whole Hog to push back. Vert does fall down on Chicken Nugget. And another hook on to gets D.Va out of mech, who immediately uses Nerf this. Punches back, is not going to find a kill, but does a lot of damage to Sec. Hooks are landing, but there's not enough follow-up just by him. There's another hook on to Ryutix. Cactus taking down an Angry Monkey kill to Chunk's face. Meteor Strike from Ryutix after he was about to die. Let's see if he's going to be aggressive or defensive. Decides to be aggressive on top of a building. Not able to do a kill, but does give him enough time to get back to his team. Vert does get a kill onto Cactus. This is where Carolina can push forward. They only have 17 seconds. Nerf this comes around the corner. Not going to get a kill. Seconding Ryutix with the hook kill. They are up 2. And here comes out the Ana boost onto Vert. He swings his hammer, takes out Super King and Runely. Mama RG falling to the arrows from Chunk. And right now it is Chicken Nugget in the back on D.Va. Really separated from his team. Now it's in overtime. Overtime simply means that they have to keep an attacking member on the payload or the overtime ticker will go down. The longer it's in overtime, the quicker that overtime ticker will go down once an attacking member is off the payload. And it looks like Lady Heezy, the healer, is going to decide, I'm going to stay there. Chicken Nugget was taken down through suicide so that she can regroup with the rest of her team, make it a full 6. They're on the high ground right now. Shanghai. Chunk getting a kill on the Super King. Diving into Ryutix, getting some damage, finding tanks punched into the wall. The Super King Nick is actually res. Chunk finding a kill on Ryutix, and another Dragon Strike comes out to split the field. Not going to find a kill, but it's going to start dividing the field. Remember, RG up in the air. Lucio all comes down. Shatter comes down, gets Super King on the floor, is then cleaned up by Chunk, who had then just finished off Cactus. Lazy Healer finding Mama RG. It is just Chicken Nugget and Runely here on the point, staggering, or getting about to be killed. And then they're going to move forward if they can deal with this. Hopping Lucio, stopping the progression of the payload, using his speed boost and healing to keep himself alive for an amazing amount of time before taken down by Lazy Healer. I don't know if Shanghai is going to push forward and stop him again. They are. Cactus dives in, gets a pin onto the D.Va. And now they are here with Sek does get the kill onto Ryutix, who is switched off onto the Hanzo. Chunk getting a kill on Cactus. Nerf this is here. Does get a double kill. Second Lazy falls to the Diva Bomb. Die from Super King. Is going to take down Hero before being shielded by the rest of Vert. They are still in overtime. It is so close going out. Nerf this coming out from Urzo. Is on the payload. So close. Gets the point. They were cleared off. Shanghai had got away from Urzo's Diva ult, and they were not able to get back to the payload in time. They do get the second point in a minute and a half. Go back into the pocket of Carolina. They still have a chance here.
That was a very risky play on behalf of Carolina. That self-destruct almost ran the timer out. Almost. But because they were on it long enough, but not just long enough to keep pushing, I don't believe the timer runs out at its max speed until, I think, 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
It does slowly tick up in its ability to kind of make it very much a lot harder for the attackers to not want to kind of back up and go in. But if you are a Diva and as you are being demeched, you are not considered a player. Ryutix getting a flanking Dragon Strike kill and a chunk from RG gets Super King. A huge shatter from Cactus does knock down 3 to 4 members of Carolina on this push. Ryutix is going to be helped cleaning up with Super King Nick and Rune Lee as they push Carolina back. 25 seconds left. They have one more push. Can Carolina do it?
Well, seeing that they have no real mobility, they're going to have to fight to get onto the point. Sect has swapped again into a Reaper. It will not be enough to fight on this point.
He was getting good value from that Roadhog with the hooks and not enough follow-up, but the charge does get Vert pinned, not enough to finish him off. Ryutix getting the pick on Chunk. Urzo does get Super King. Vert is down on the side of Carolina. Sek does get Mama Argy as he was trying to get another res. Sek is then finished off by Chicken Nugger. And now again in overtime. Urzo is here. Is going to be shattered again by Cactus. And Diva is almost going to be knocked out of mech, pinned against the wall to get off the point, is trying to get back to it. Is still contested. Ryutix does find the pick onto the mech, and the version of it does get thrown out a Dragon Strike to finish off the last potential overtime member of Carolina, but it is going to be Shanghai holding this last point on Dorado.
And let's go ahead and take it to play of the game, brought to you by Ryutix as Genji already probably going to drop the Dragon Blade here. It is ready to go. He's going to try and drop the hurt. There's Dragon Blade for the single, then the double, then triple your money for a quad. And can he pick up the penta? Yes, he can. Phenomenal plays as always.
They can pick up that last one, especially when they realize Chunk was standing there. Okay, I get it. Kill me. But it is going to go Shanghai up right now against Carolina. Great attack. Last few attacks coming out from Carolina. I'm still very impressed when they pushed and got that second point. We're going to take that short 2-minute break. We'll be back here in just a second.
I'll stay till you, gonna love you till we're one. Don't leave me stranded. Don't leave me stranded. Don't leave me stranded. No, don't leave me. Running till the pace is fast enough. Feel me down, but I'm here and I'm still keeping up. I was out, now I'm found and that is simple love. Trust me, it'll be enough, enough. Make a move and let the blood flow through our veins. I remember it like cold snow. Heat it up now and hear it, let the bass go. Hear it, hear the bass go, go. Oh, I'll take you and we can make other plans. Don't leave me stranded. Our love can't stand it. Oh, don't lead me wrong. I'll stay till you're gonna love you till we're one. Don't leave me. Don't leave me. Oh, don't lead me wrong. I'll stay till you're
Hello, welcome back everyone. Julik here with Spifftastic, me and Childish Rambino. We're gonna go ahead and break down game number 3 very fast because we are almost there with game number 4. So Rambino, quickly, thoughts on Shanghai Staggered on this last Dorado map, game number 3.
Well, TLDR, Shanghai Staggered brought home the bacon. They were doing a fantastic job of offense. They were doing a fantastic job of defense. Mama RG, fantastic Mercy player, going unpunished with her reses. The big plays, all there.
Excellent. Any other thoughts you might have, Spiff, that you might want to mention before the game number 4 starts for the side of Shanghai?
For the side of Shanghai, Rutik's coming in there and diving with Chicken Nugger. Fantastic job. I loved the sustain that they were able to keep they basically kept their dive alive. So they dove forward with them as a team versus it trying to be like a solo flank or double kills or double flank. And they sustained the dive that they were able to push forward on their attack, and it worked.
I want to stick with you, Spiff. I want you to tell me how crucial or how impactful was Chunk for the side of Carolina Cosmic.
Chunk, oh, he was popping off as Hanzo. He killed half of the Shanghai on their first encounter. He was finding the kills. He was getting plenty of dragons. 2 out of 3 of the dragons found a kill from a wall, and the last one he was able to split the team. But he was doing a fantastic job of finding picks on Hanzo that mattered. And I also want to give props to Sect for trying to find something that worked. I believe he found some good progress as he got onto the Hog. He did some great hooks. He got some great picks, good follow-ups, and then he switched off onto the Reaper, which was then finally able to shut down Mama RG from all the reses that she was getting away with.
Rambino, let's jump onto that comment about Roadhog with Sect. How important was that swap? Because we did see the momentum kind of like pick up for the side of Carolina Cosmic when Roadhog came into play. What are your thoughts?
So it's a dangerous and risky thing to bring in a tank with no armor, mind you, into a Reaper. However, the whole Hog was able to get them off the point, and that's exactly what you need to do. You need to isolate targets. You need to really spread them out, because otherwise they will group in and they will kill you.
Excellent. And that's going to be a quick wrap up for game number 3, Dorado. It was a great match. A lot of wonderful ults coming online for both teams. So now we are going to go ahead and move into game number 4 between Shanghai Staggered and Carolina Cosmic. The map is going to be Eichenwald. So casters, take it away.
Eichenwald. Love this map. It's a castle. It's where Reinhardt was trained before his master was unfortunately taken down by the Omnic invasion. But again, top left, Carolina Cosmic in your blue. Top right is your Shanghai Staggered in the red. First on defense on this hybrid map is going to be Carolina Cosmic. For those of you wondering what hybrid map means, simply it is, last map was a payload map, and the map before that was a control map. The map before that was a a 2 capture. So essentially a hybrid is a version of capturing the point, which is the payload, to then start moving the payload like you saw in Dorado. So what we're seeing here is the first thing that the attackers have to do is get through the defenders and capture the payload to continue pushing forward. On defense, Rambino, what do we have from Carolina?
Well, Carolina will be Chunk on Junkrat, Way on Anna, Vert on Zarya, Lazy Healer on Moira, Manameme on Reinhardt, and Sect on that trustworthy McCree.
Coming out here from attack, we have a 2-2-2. We got Aqua Kid going to be taking over the Genji from Ryutix, as Ryutix is going to be going up in the air on Pharah. Ranger going to be main tanking on Reinhardt, backed up by Chicken Nugget. Ranger actually on the ground, gets slept and then bubbled to keep him alive. Really good healing on healing as with Mirari, who has come up for Mama RG, but Lazy Healer does that kill an Aqua Kid. Sect falls to Ryutix. Ranger, Nick Chicken Nugget does take down Lazy. Ranger falls to Vert. Ryutix does take down Chunk, and Ranger is rezzed by Mirari. Ryutix does take down Huey. Manameme going to take down Rooney. So we got back and forth right now. They're deciding if they can push forward anymore, and they're start getting on the point that is going to go in favor of Shanghai this time.
Quick update to the ult economy here. Manameme does has the Earth Shatter, but it isn't going to see any play right now as they've taken the first point on behalf of Shanghai Staggered.
They did push. They went together as a team. They were finding picks. It was going back and forth quite a while until Shanghai was able to get the momentum going. They're going to do what they did before when they had the payload. They're going to keep one on it, and they're going to move forward with the rest of them. The second point from the capture to the front of the castle, I'd like to see more verticality, because right now Ryutix is up in the air, does take down Sect, one of his main, more or less counters as a hit scan. Here comes the grab on the side of Shanghai. It's going to be combo with this Justice. Is going to get that double kill. And backed up again by Chicken Nugger. That's going to be that Crab Justice combo. They get in one little spot. Well, that's pretty easy target for a ulting Pharah, and that's going to be Shanghai taking this first corner up to going towards the castle.
It is important to bring up Ryutix's Pharah. We don't see it played a lot on other maps, but he loves Eichenwald and Pharah together. It feels like he has a DPS for every map that we play.
Shatter does come out, does knock one person down. It's not going to be not enough cleanup, though. Manameme going to take the hammer to Ranger's face, who is going to be rezzed by Mirari. Coalescence kill Don the Chicken Nugger. It is back. It is 5-5 right now. Then they are doing a good job of coming forward and contesting the push of the payload. Charge comes out. Is going to be counter-charged by Ranger. Again, with Reinhardt's charge each other, they both decide to take a nap for just a second on the ground. Ranger getting the kill onto Sect, who switch on. A huge shatter from Mana again. 3 members are down. He starts sweeping them up with a hammer. It's going to get pooped off by Roonley. He is rude and decides to go ahead and jump and run away. Decides killing himself, but Ryutix does take the fall of death, and it's going to be a hold on the side of Carolina.
Carolina's defense is definitely a lot beefier than previously, but we're really going to see it tested here when that's next team fight. That barrage is ready, and it may go unpunished because of Sound Barrier.
Sound Barrier, great ult 2 user. Again, that's from Lucio. It adds about 700 to 900 extra to very degrading health. So it starts and it goes very, very low. Tracer Bomb does find Chunk from Aqua Kid. Ranger getting kill onto Sect. That's 2 in favor of Shanghai right now. Justice comes down, finds 1, finds 2 from above. Lazy and Mana do fall down. It gets them boop off onto Vert as well. That's a triple kill from Ryutix up in the air, and Shanghai is going to get to the front of the castle with that.
Fantastic team play overall from Shanghai. They knew exactly what they needed to do and got it accomplished. Now they're ready to push it into the final checkpoint.
Aqua Kid getting that nice pulse bomb initiating kill to allow them. Basically, when you see a pick on the other team, you go ahead and push forward. Chunk actually going to get Aqua Kid in the back. He's trying to build another pulse bomb. Coalescence coming out from the side of Carolina to push back. Charge is not even going to happen as Chunk takes him down as soon as the shield is dropped. We have a res coming out from Mirari. They're possibly going to try and fight this. Manameme does get the kill on Roonley. It does look like Carolina is going to start sweeping up the attacking team one more time. Chunk using High Noon just to delay them another 6 seconds so they can't even push forward.
Now, the irony is you don't really need to worry too much about getting back onto the point just as you take the checkpoint. It's a bit of a take a breather moment, if you will, for both teams.
Now, I don't know if Shanghai was close enough to hear that, but it might have been a fat finger. Oh, Manameme has lost his shatter, and that's going to be a shatter from Ranger. That's going to be a cleanup from Ryutix as a Ranger charges through, finds a pin, and just another kill from the charge. double kill from him, and that's going to be a push back to this last little corner. They're going to decide to push up as just Rune Lee plays babysitter on the point. Let's see if Carolina can group up one more time and get another kill, but they're getting killed at the door. Ryutik's getting a pick on a chunk. Manamine falling down to Ranger. They are trying to come forward, and it's not going to be enough. We have Valkyrie from Sect keeping him alive, contesting the point, is trying to go around, using up and down as best he can. Huey going to get the kill on Chicken Nugget. Ranger is res by Mirari, who then charges Lazy Healer. Ryutik does the pick on the Sect. Grab coming out from Bert is going to help them finish up and clean up Aqua Kid and Mirari. And it's going to be Carolina who are actually going to hold great defense despite the pressure coming from Shanghai.
Now, that barrage, it almost feels like Carolina let that happen. They didn't seem to want to get out of the way almost, which is actually kind of goofy, considering that their team comp centers around that Zarya, that Reinhardt blocking projectiles, blocking damage.
Again, Reinhardt's charge does do 300 to the target that he does pin, but everyone he knocks aside is at 50 damage. There comes out another grab. Doesn't need to be combo with an O, because essentially they're all together. There's no shield. That's going to be a lot of damage coming in, and it's only just Mana who's going to be taken down and trying to run away and trying to stall. He is on the point. He's still here. He really bopping that. The Lucio ult, keep him alive. Can they get on? They're not going to be able to get it on. Justice to push him back from it. After the fact, quadruple kill from Utix up in the air. They do take 3 points on Eichenwald for Shanghai.
Now that we're going to see Shanghai defend, the aggression from Cosmic is going to set the mood for the next few rounds. And here's why. Sect looks like a jack of all trades, master of none. We've seen him play Roadhog, McCree, now Mercy. It really is going to see how they can get their team comps working. If we see Chunk commit to that Widow, or if we see these team comps swap it up enough to keep Shanghai on their toes. I personally want to see them flank around. It's very rare. But that being said, a flank would throw Shanghai for a loop, considering they are the ones that are known for doing that on Eichenwald.
Eichenwald, very good map for the defenders if they usually need a Junkrat or someone who can basically shoot a lot of damage down a barrel, because there's really only two main modes of attack unless you are vertically enabled. On the attacking side, you have to go underneath the bridge arc that is right now in the front. Of course, if you have something like a Pharah, a Mercy can go pocket with him, Hammond, Genji can get around there. There's a lot of heroes that can go very, very, very far right, actually to the other side of the castle gate. But not necessarily going to be enough, because not enough mobility to look like coming out from Carolina, as they are going with a troll build until it actually starts. So they're probably going to switch. But on defense, what do we have from Shanghai?
Well, for Shanghai, we've got Mirari on Mercy, Aqua Kid on Junkrat, Chicken on Zarya, Rune Lee on the Lucio, yet again, Ranger Hoover rocking that Reinhardt, and Ryutix with an Ashe. Interesting pick, if I do say so myself.
See what he can do in there. Sect is actually taken down by Ryutix on that Ashe, as he was up in the air on that Pharah. Manamine going to be sticking to the Reinhardt, backed up by Vert, and it's going to be Chunk taken down by Ryutix. Double kill on their first push. I want to see Carolina get back. Manamine still right here, hiding, maybe trying to find a lucky pick. Is going to be start taking damage, getting Coach gunned away, waiting for a pick. But it does look like Lazy Healer going to be healing on the Zenyatta, hopefully finding a Discord's calling him out, and it's going to be Huey healing on the Anna. Sect is actually fallen off or taken down accidentally. See what's happening there. And they're going to wait for that again, because again, they will be going into this 5v6. Aqua Kid does take down Huey. It's now 5v5 if they want to push forward, because they lost their healer. They can push back this defense. They're slowly poking. I don't know if they use the W key more often, but Ryutix does get that pick onto Chunk, because they were waiting to push around. I want to see them come forward, and I want to see them show aggression, because right now Carolina is not pushing forward, and I feel like they should be. Lazy Healer is taken down by Chicken Nugget. And Manamine's up here swinging away, getting an ult. He does have Shatter.
Now,
go for it.
I will say Sect continuously swapping is not helping their momentum. We've seen it go back from Mercy, from Pharah, back to Mercy. It isn't any sense of conducive to keep doing that. You're just going to continuously throw away that momentum.
Now, and during that, Manamine did kind of get onto the right flank, get 3 down with a Shatter, and then kill someone with a pin, but then it's taken down. And then the person who they did to take down was res right away by Sect, or by Mirari. Sect getting the res on a Lazy Healer, keeping him strong. Ryutix gets a double kill on a Sect invert, doing a lot of work. already fit 60% more to another Bob and is on fire. I want to see Carolina regroup and decide to push as a team. I believe they can break through this wall that Shanghai is putting up.
Now, the team comp, it does not seem to be working out for Carolina. They are not grouping. Everything kind of seems to be falling apart at the seams for them right now. Transcendence, the Nano Boost, is only going to be effective if they can pop it on Reinhardt or Reaper at the right time.
Tire comes in from Aqua Kid, does get sucked in mana, pushing back this aggression again. Main healer, main tank down. Rejix finds Shunk and Ranger getting the kill on Lazy. And they're going to start cleaning up. Again, I completely agree. It does seem like Carolina is almost... They're not grouping up. Mana is pushing forward, but the rest of his team is lagging behind. I want them to stick with the Reinhardt or ask the Reinhardt to come forward because they are playing the namesake of Shanghai and staggering themselves. Shunk is switched off onto a Bastion. Is going to try and start this, pushing them back from this corner. Grab from the top, comes around. Here comes Bob as well. As a flanking Bob. Chicken Nugget gets the kill on Mana and Chunk as they push forward. They have less than a minute. That's a triple kill coming out from Chicken Nugget as against Carolina. And they're going to keep pushing forward into this small little hole where Anna and Zarya were waiting, and then they're going to back up. But that was some flanking ults. Bob and Grab were used.
There is something a little scary about hearing Bob do something. You know, obviously, that charge can deal damage. His shotgun barrage deals a respectable amount of damage. It's a great way to keep that momentum going without really risking positioning.
Again, they're pushing forward. I would have liked them to stay behind the Rhine Shield. Again, Rhine Shield is used to reposition your entire team. As they get around, they are pushing forward. And it does look like Sect is using Battle Mercy from a flanking Battle Mercy here on this first point. They have 10 seconds left to start getting a Huey getting a pick on Ryutix. Chunk is deployed on point, does get Runely. Aqua Kid getting Huey. Now Manamine wins that battle of the hammers against Ranger. Aqua Kid taking down the immobile Chunk. Ryutix is rezzed by Mirari. Aqua Kid getting lazy and Sect does res Chunk right back up. Manamine getting the tire from Aqua Kid and gets a double kill as well. And here comes out that grab from Carolina, getting Mirari and Chicken Nugget, who's going to be swept and cleaned up by Manami. And it looks like Carolina is going to be doing it, but then Runely jumps on, is going to start staggering, perhaps thinking about running away. Chunk ults to get it, say, no, you are not allowed to stall this anymore. Yeah, I'm taking this payload. I'm going to start moving it with 2.5 minutes left.
It's really interesting, to say the least, that a Bastion is thrown into the mix here. Now, they aren't really building around it, but obviously Reinhardt's that all-around shield. He can keep Bastion safe, but I do worry that if they keep the Bastion, all they're going to do is take advantage of that in the next few team fights.
And they are going to go ahead and do it. It does look like it is Mercy, who was trying to shoot the top of the castle, is going to be taken down by Aqua Kid. Bastion is set up and then taken down by Chicken Nugget. Manami was being very aggressive. He was hoping maybe the rest of his team was pushing, kind of doing what Shanghai did after they got it, keeping one on the payload and then pushing forward the rest of his team, but it was just him. Charge comes out, it's going to find Chicken Nugget. After Chicken Nugget takes down Huey, he's going to try and finish him off inside the castle. Is not going to happen, but Sec does get Huey right back up. Shatter comes down, 2 members down. Vert and Sect are on the ground. Sect is not going to be able to get away from Bob, who takes down Sect and Vert and Chunk. Bob is definitely doing something. Aqua Kid going to take out Huey. And it's going to be Carolina backing up one more time, another time or two, because they have possibly 2 more fights. They only have just over a minute left.
Now, I don't think this is a feature in the game, but if you could give play of the game to Bob, as Bob, I would really enjoy that. Overwatch, please, make it happen.
Make it a thing just for Bob. A huge, great shatter coming from Anime into a charge. Is going to start trying to clean up, but a tire gets a triple kill onto Sect, Huey, and Lazy. Not good. Is going to go ahead and say, stop where you are, good sir. Ryutix does clean up Chunk after that. They are kind of changing up their comps. And we're going to see if Carolina can do it again one more time, but a huge tire from Aqua Kid stops that push.
I'm going to have to say Aqua Kid just said, will you stop, please, Cosmic?
Will you please keep going with those Rambino? They're going to go ahead and push forward again. Here comes out the Valkyrie from Sect, trying to keep people alive. Ryutix on the high ground, comboed by the Mercy. Ranger finally charge on the Manami. Aqua Kid going to take down Sect on the high ground. And they are already down 2 on the side of Carolina. They have 16 seconds left. Transcendence comes out from a flanking Lazy Healer who is on top of the castle. Not enough time to save Chunk, who got charged into a wall. And the Reinhardts are fighting, going back and forth. Here comes out a grab that helps kill off Lazy Healer and Manami. It's a double kill for Chicken Nugget. And if they can get on here, Bert's trying to get here. It's not going to be enough. That's going to be Shanghai taking Eichenwald.
Fantastic plays all around. We will take it to play of the game, brought to you by Ranger Hoover as Reinhardt. Alrighty, the chatter is ready. What are we going to see here? He's swinging left, right, up and down. Huey goes down, then Chunk. Can he get the triple? There he goes, and the quad, and the teleporter pad to boot. Absolutely phenomenal. Right on sect for the 5 kills. Great job.
Great job from them. Now, Shanghai does take this matchup 4-0. I believe we're going to go ahead and go right into the analysis of the end of the game, because, again, that was map 4. We do usually stop it. If we needed a map 5, we would have gone to it, but now we're actually going into the analysis for how Shanghai was able to get the 4-0 map. Julik, what do we need to do?
Excellent. Welcome back, guys. That was a great game number 4 coming in from the side of Shanghai Staggered. They did, I gotta say, I kind of predicted by accident the score when we started. I had left the score.
You are a prophet, Julik. We didn't even know.
And that's the end result here. But Rambino, I want to go over to you. Let us know what actually worked out for Shanghai here. Was it their aggression? Was it the right picks? Was it the Ash and Bob? Let us know.
I'm going to have to say overall, it's Shanghai synergy. I feel that we have seen this team single-handedly hold the control points, keep their members alive with only a Mercy half the time, and a Lucio to boot on occasion. However, Mama RG, again, fantastic reses going unpunished, her team keeping her out of harm's way. That is exactly what you need to do. Rune Lee, Ryudix working together, helping keep each other alive here. Fantastic place.
Any thoughts on Shanghai Spiff? Anything that you liked aside from Bob?
Aside from Bob, Ryutix is a great DPS, and hopefully people are seeing what we saw. He wasn't playing optimally well on Anubis, but then map 2, 3, and 4, you'd understand why we were saying Ryutix is Ryutix, and he was doing a fantastic job finding those picks. I didn't know he could play Ashe so well, finding great picks as they were first coming on to map 4, just stopping it before they even started. They kind of, it just seemed that Shanghai was just the team that was more cohesive, and it didn't seem like Carolina was pushing as much together or even retreating together. They were getting staggered more than the stagger.
Adding to your point, they Shanghai did had a lot of organization when it came to defending and pushing. All the picks seemed to just flow so well within each other. So overall, great performance coming in from the side of Shanghai Staggered. I gotta say though, I've seen Carolina Cosmic when the season started, and they looked very, very intimidating. Unfortunately, that wasn't there tonight. There must have been some swaps and all, but I know that they have it. I know they have that aggression that we all loved at the very beginning of the season. So with that in mind, let's end on a high note here for both sides. We're going to go ahead and pick the MVP for Cosmic first. Spiff, you go first.
Carolina Cosmic had some great picks, and I'm going to give it to Chunk. Chunk was playing a great Mei on the first map. It did by default go to Shanghai, but I loved his play on that one. From Dorado, I saw and noticed the great picks he was getting from Hanzo. He was doing a great job of not being as aggressive as Ryutix on Shanghai, but he's definitely the counterpart, and he popped off in my mind right away.
Rambino, your pick for MVP on the side of Cosmic.
I will also have to say Chunk again. When you see plays like that, you just cannot ignore them. Chunk really is the epitome of an MVP.
We're going to go ahead and jump over to the side of Shanghai Staggered. I feel like they overall it's going to be very difficult to pick one particular player, but no exceptions. That means you can pick Ryutix. Who was the MVP for the side of Shanghai Staggered? Spiff.
Now, everyone's probably expecting me to say Ryutix, but I'm not. And the reason is it was a team effort when he was jumping in with Chicken Nugget to get those picks as Genji on most of those maps. I'm going to give it to the glue of Shanghai, as I've heard her being called, Mama RG. And Mama RG, you get my MVP because just you kept getting those reses. You went with the dive as the Mercy, which usually they're usually scared to do that, but you kept them up. You kept your team from losing the advantage by getting all those reses off, and you had some great Battle Mercy plays as well. So I'm going to give it to Mama RG.
Excellent. We're going to take a quick 1 minute break. When we come back, we are going to hear from Incareal himself. This was the final match of the season. So give us 30 seconds to get set up. It's going to be a very juicy conversation. If you have any questions that you want to bring up for him, make sure to write it out in the chat. So just stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We have a special guest here to wrap up week number 7, OWCC Season 1. That's going to be Incareal. Incareal, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Julik, thanks. Sorry for giving you such short notice on me coming in.
No, you're more than welcome. We have also Spiff, Tastic Me, and Rambino still on the call. So, Incareal, please let us know what's up.
Hey, man, so first off, I wanted to come in and congratulate Shanghai Staggered on a fantastic win today. For those of you that aren't aware, that I actually managed to put Shanghai at the top of the roster in first place for Division 1. So super proud of those guys. Fantastic. Also, on top of that, I want to go ahead and tell Carolina that despite what the score shows, it does not speak for the entirety of the truth. The first map was honestly very well fought. They had a beautiful defense. I have no doubts that it would have been an incredibly close one should the game had continued. And same thing goes for map number 3. It was very close. It came down to the wire. It was a very good game overall. Well played by both teams. Now, I have obviously been watching the stream and noticing several things within. A lot of confusion in the Twitch chat, so I wanted to jump in here and kind of explain to everybody what exactly happened.
Just before you do that, can we make sure the people in chat understand your role in the OWCC? You are one of the head people from Shanghai Staggered, but make sure they understand what position you're about to say and explain some.
Yeah, that's right. So, for those of you that aren't aware, my Discord name is Ncarreal, same as what you might see on Twitch, and I'm actually the assistant commissioner for OWCC as well as the head coach for Shanghai Staggered. Whenever the issue came up, that was with Cosmic, several people on the board, to include myself, Uma, who was your head commissioner, Epiel, who was your head of officiating, and a few of your mods came together. We were trying to figure out what was going on, reading the book, trying to get everything set up, and unfortunately we had not foreseen something like this happening whenever we did create the new and improved rulebook that went out. So unfortunately, there wasn't an actual clear set punishment that was put out within the rules. However, it did still say in the rules that you weren't that you had to have everything actually put forward on your roster sheet. All your players had to be on it. So Uma and myself and multiple other people at the board had come together to decide what it is we needed to do in order to try and prevent this from ever happening again. And we decided that going kind of harsh on the first time it would happen would help prevent it ever from happening again. So hopefully this issue never does come up. So unfortunately, we did make the executive decision to have Cosmic forfeit the first map, which is super unfortunate. On top of that, I also do want to go ahead, for those of you that are still listening on the stream, I've been talking with the board. I know a lot of you can be really frustrated with what has been going on with OWCC. We know we haven't been incredibly stable. A lot of teams are coming and going. We have a lot of things that we're trying to fix. Some of you say we shouldn't fix it. A lot of things going on. We want you to know that I'm actually going to get with the board later on this week, and we're going to come together and come up with a huge list of announcements to let everyone here know, everyone that wants to watch the first quarterfinals game. I'm going to come back on here and just give an announcement to everything that's going to happen for season 2, all the changes that are coming in, new rules. We're excited to bring in a bunch of new teams. We're looking to improve OWCC, make it even better, and hopefully season 2 will come back to be fantastic and a much, much better experience than season 1 was. Scheduling would be, hopefully we found a way to fix the scheduling issues. Hopefully we found ways to fix just a lot of the issues that everyone keeps bringing up to us. We just want you to know that your voices are being heard. Please keep speaking, keep letting us know, keep talking to your managers, and don't give up on us, because we really are trying and we're doing everything we can to improve OWCC. And there's going to be a big announcement for that, so please make sure to tune in for the first quarterfinals match, where I'll come in and I'll give a real big update during halftime or at the end of the game. Haven't decided yet to what everything is that's going to be coming new for season 2. Also, on top of that, unfortunately, I need to end my time here with some bad news. I did get a lot of views. I'm sure you're aware. We were in talks with getting Jane, the assistant coach for Dallas Fuel, as well as a famous streamer. For those of you that don't know him, I highly suggest you go check him out. We were trying to get him to come and cast our finals match. Unfortunately, he's actually hosting a tournament during our finals game, so he will not be able to come in and cast for us on the finals. I'm super super down for that. I was really hoping he'd be able to get there, but unfortunately he's just not going to be able to come in. So I'm super down about it. I tried everything we could. Sorry, guys. But still, please tune in for the finals game. It should be one heck of a doozy. Looking forward to the remainder of season 1 with you guys. And I'll definitely looking forward to seeing the rest of the teams play and watching the season kind of end itself.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come on the match here and clear things up for everyone. I do gotta say, I appreciate this a lot, and at a personal level, I feel like everyone else that's heavily invested in this cup and what we have essentially created should also be thankful that you're joining us. I personally don't have any questions that I would like to ask on the air, but I don't know, Spiff and Rambino, you guys have anything that you would like to bring up?
I'll let Rambino go, because I get to actually talk with Inca several times. He hangs out in my stream, and he gives me pointers sometimes. It's great. So I'll let Rambino go.
My question to you is, do you like jazz?
I actually do like jazz.
Alrighty, well, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you for answering my question.
Of course.
Absolutely beautiful. And again, I want to thank Inca again. People understand how much he does for the OCC as it's building into this end of season 1, going to season 2. and where he's doing it from, he's up really late or quote unquote really early. So the amount of stuff you do, Inca, at the time slot you do it, thank you. That's really hard, and appreciate your service.
We do
Right.
have a question in chat. Some with Emmett saying, "Will you announce the new teams on stream too?" I'm assuming he's asking to the new teams if you can announce them now, or is that going to be just posted on the channel in the near future?
So I can't announce them now because we haven't actually set through and looked through everything. We're still not actually completely sure of which teams are definitely going to be leaving us, sad face, or the ones that will be staying, happy face. So unfortunately, right now I can't. But if I do have the information, I will definitely do everything I can to try and put out everything I can for all the new teams. And also, I do, while I'm on that note of all the new teams and everything, I want to tell everybody, for the rest of the community, for those that are listening, guys, this is a community, right? This is a community cup. And like I said earlier, with, keep telling us your voices are being heard. We can't do everything. Like Spiff said, I work on a real tight schedule. Uma has a family. All of us are doing this for free. We're all doing this.
This is all a love project.
Yeah, this is a one massive love project. A lot of us already have jobs or tight schedules. So while we do our best to do everything we can to make sure and kind of take care of OWCC, we can't do it alone. So we ask you guys. So I want to ask everybody that is listening right now to make sure that whenever you are in our Discord, when you are out there, chatting it up with friends, finding pugs, getting in the teams and everything, and just making Overwatch great, make sure that you don't not only follow the rules, but be polite to others, be inviting, spread the word of OWCC. And if you see a problem, like if you see that the mods, I know that was one big issue we had, was that people were saying we didn't have enough mods. If you see it, apply for it. Be the change in here that you want to be. All right, guys, be the change that you want to see in OWCC. Don't just say it and then leave it in a general chat or something. Actually do something for it, because there's only so much we can do to improve OWCC.
Someone should really pick up that wrapper that's by my feet. I mean, they should really throw that away. Can someone come over here and throw that away? No, okay. I'm gonna complain about it. I think that's what popped in my head.
But on the defense of everyone that complains, I guess.
True.
They might not know exactly how to contribute in order to change things. They might also feel that if they're bringing something up, it's not being heard, and it's not because you guys are ignoring it, but it's because everyone has limited time. Now the question is, are we letting them know that, hey, we heard you, unfortunately we don't have the capabilities or resources to take care of this now, or are they just being left up in the air without any follow-up?
So we do our best to respond to everything. So if people come out and they try to go and say, hey, here's the problem, like, I wish you guys could see manager chat. The thing blows up like every other day. I swear, I leave Discord for 2 minutes, I come back, I've got 15 pings and 12 problems that pop up every day, I swear. Those guys are always on us. It's ridiculous. But I mean, we tell them, we try to stay active. I try to stay active in general chat, game discussion, manager chat, caster chat, try to pop in, say hi to guys. We try our best to respond back, but just understand that sometimes if you do say something to us, you may not get a response immediately. Give us some time to kind of talk it over, because everything that you guys throw into the machine that is our board goes through, like say y'all want to put a new rule or something, it goes through the mods and the refs, who then have to look at it and decide if it's okay or not. Then it goes to the advisors, who then will have to overlook it and decide if it would be beneficial for all the managers and the teams. And then it goes to myself and Uma, who look at it and just decide overall if we want it in. And then the whole board comes together and makes a decision on whether we actually believe this would be a good thing to do. And we do this for every single decision to ensure that what we're doing is in the best interest of OWCC. And as you can imagine, this does take some time. So if you do put something out, please give us some time to respond back, and make sure that when you do put out like a suggestion or something, ping the appropriate people for it. That does not mean go and explode all the different channels and chats with pings for everybody on the board, but let us know and don't just type something and expect us, to go and check every single channel every single time. And also give us a chance to actually go over it and go through the channels and talk with everyone and make sure it's the proper thing.
We got a question in chat. I don't know if you want to read it, Spiff, but it's coming in from Val Nilo.
Sure thing. He's got a question about the rosters. He did note and pay attention that the Carolina had that slight issue. Is there a cutoff for the playoffs for teams to solidify a roster, basically lock their roster? When is the last time they can add somebody new?
So I can't. I'm not looking at the rulebook right now, so don't take me verbatim. Unfortunately, I know I'm a horrible assistant commissioner. I don't have the entire rulebook memorized. Shame on me.
Oh God.
If I remember correctly, I do believe it is the day prior to your match is whenever your roster locks. If I remember correctly, it should be the day prior to your match that roster will lock, and that's when that deadline should be. So in a way, it kind of depends on the person. There are also changes to that coming up. For season 2, so that should be slightly different for season 2. So, yeah.
Awesome sauce.
Yep.
Any other changes that you're willing to, minor changes, they don't have to be big, that you're willing to reveal, discuss with us right now while we have some audience on the stream?
So to go and pull a Jeff on everybody, super secret stuff I'm not allowed to talk about.
Oh God.
But I will say that there's a lot of things in the works. I know we're looking to try and not make OWCC just a tournament that plays on a cycle. During the off seasons, we want to do different like mini game types. Like we want to have like an all-star event. We want to do like widow tournaments where to see which teams have like the best widows. And one funny thing I personally came up with and I really wanted to see is actually have players who want to can submit like their name and then their role to a specific person or whoever, or put it on a Microsoft Doc or whatever it is that they call Google Doc. There we go.
Mhm.
Put it on Doc or whatnot, and then we just randomly draw people for 6-man teams, and then whatever role it is you have, that's what you play for, like a little mini tournament. So it'll be like you could end up with like 6 tanks on one team that are all main tanks or all off tanks, or you could end up with all 6 supports, or like
Yes.
I've
won a game with that.
Yeah, just to kind of have some fun, make OWCC something where it's not just competitive, but it's also more. It's just more of like a community where people can get together and have fun, and it also lets the other teams kind of play together and get a little bit more involved with one another, as opposed to just always being on the other side of the fence to each other. Different ways to kind of get the teams intermingled and working together. On top of that, I know we've been looking at updating a lot of the scheduling, because I know scheduling's been a real pain in the patootie these last few weeks for some teams. We're looking at trying to get a more stable schedule for OWCC to make it much easier for both our fans, viewers, and teams to be able to predict the games, figure out if they can be there or not, all that. And I might get a lot of crap for this one, but we are looking seriously at splitting the league into a bronze to gold division and a platinum to diamond division to allow players to, one, get more play time, and on top of that, to just make the games that much better. So you have these gold players who can't, so you're not ending up in a game where these silver players are playing with these platinums and diamonds all the time, but they can't go in competitive and play with them. Where these are teams that hopefully we want to build that'll actually last and continue. So even when they leave us, if they choose to stay together, they can stay together and play together continuously throughout. And that's something that is not a completely fixed idea right now, but it is something that is in the works that we are looking to really to really solve and hopefully add on to improve OWCC as always.
Quick question regarding the finals casting or casters. Now that we've confirmed that Jane will not be joining us, unfortunately, what's the backup plan? Are we gonna stay with the local talent that we have, such as Spifftastic, Rambino, and many others? How is that gonna be essentially selected, or who's gonna be doing it?
So I emailed Jeff, and hopefully he's show up. No, I'm kidding. I didn't email Jeff.
Come on, Jeff.
But no, for now, I think we're just gonna. Oh, hush, Rune. I'll get to the team in a minute. I think we'll. I think we're just gonna stick with local talent for now. So.
I did see a question earlier about the Jane not being able to schedule properly. They said, "What's the possibility of us just rescheduling to meet Jane's schedule?"
So that is something I have thought about that I haven't really brought up with anyone yet, but that is something that we have that I would consider being a possibility for us. It would depend on how much we would have to reschedule before we would actually do something like that. If it's just bumping it to the next weekend, then okay, sure. I mean, I have no issues doing that. But if it's something like we'd have to move it back like a few weeks or something, then unfortunately we can't set off a finals match for that, as that would delay progress for OWCC simply too much.
Okay. I don't think we have any other questions on the chat. We don't want to take too much time away from your schedule. Spiff, Rambino, do you guys have anything else that you would like to mention?
I just want to say thank you for having us, ladies and gentlemen. It's always a pleasure to be casting with Spiff and Julik, Meme King Julik.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like casting with you guys has become a routine, and I'm pretty comfortable. And I hope that everyone that tuned in tonight also had a great time. We did see some fantastic plays coming in from both teams, the Shanghai Staggered and the Carolina Cosmic. Before we wrap up tonight's match and actually little talk afterwards, a little interview, in Korea, is there anything else that you would like to say to everyone that's still watching? Anything to, you want to wrap up?
So the last thing I got to say to everybody is, if y'all feel like you're not being heard, know that you are. Have faith in us. We're doing everything we can to improve OWCC and make it a place for everybody, for teams to be together and really improve. And honestly, if y'all feel like you're not being heard, I openly invite everybody to feel free to DM me personally about whatever issue it is you feel like is wrong with OWCC, and that way I can actually come in and I'll do everything I can to take care of it personally if it needs to be done, because you can't. Sometimes we can't always check ourselves. Sometimes the community's got to check the leaders, right? That's why you've got the community sets up the leaders, and leaders takes care of the community, balance and checks. So you guys keep an eye on us, we keep an eye on you, and together I'm sure we can make WCC a fantastic place that can rival even that of Open Division if we work hard enough.
Thank you for those kind words. Spiff, anything that you would like to say to the stream before we wrap up?
First off, thanks, Zika, for coming on towards the end. I loved casting with you, Rambino, and of course, emceed by the beautiful Julik. I am Spifftastic me. I am a streamer. Hopefully you can find my little link down below. I see me and Julix, as well as the Discord link to OCC if you have any questions, again, so you can DM the beautiful people who are in charge of it. But I am trying to make streaming a full-time thing. If you haven't already and you want to follow something Spifftastic, go hit my link right over to Twitch. I'll be streaming just for about an hour or two after this. You can watch some shenanigans, some happiness, and some energetic Spifftasticness over at twitch.tv/SpifftasticMe. Hope to see you there.
Rambina, did you give your goodbye comment or not yet?
I did, but I would just say once again, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for having me. It is a pleasure, as always, to see this community.
All right, very well, guys. That's going to be it for tonight's final match of the season. My name is Julik. Thank you very much for tuning in. Chances are that you are following this channel, but make sure to spread the word about the OWCC. We have the playoffs coming up sometime in the first month of next year. It's going to be very exciting to see who's actually going to be matching against who, and that's going to be it for us. So thank you very much, and have a good night.